Welcome, folks. I'm Jabby Kuwait, joined by STEPH. We're continuing on Love, Death, and Robots, Volume 3, Episode 4, Night of the Many Dead. We'll also be looking at Episode 5 and 6. Episode 5 is Kill Team Kill, and 6 is Swarm. We watched Volume 3, Episode 1, 2, and 3 first, before anything else, and that was my fault. It was an accident. I thought I had clicked on Volume 1, but I inadvertently clicked on Volume 3, and so then we went back to the beginning. And here we are. We're all caught up.
We made it.
So Night of the Many Dead. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, you will see a cut-down version of our reaction because we're only allowed to show you a limited amount of picture-in-picture. However, if you want to watch the whole thing with us, uncut, uninterrupted, head over to our Patreon page or become a member of this channel. By the way, it's patreon.com/JabbyKuwait. Or you can become a member of this channel, like I said, if you want to watch the whole thing with us, uncut, uninterrupted, but you will need your own Netflix subscription so you can open up the show in an adjacent window to our reaction, and that's like you're watching it with two of your favorite pals from the internet. Now, if you're watching this on memberships or Patreon already, thanks so much for supporting us here. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, bell icon, all notifications, and pretty please vote this up. Let YouTube know you're enjoying what you're watching. Here we go. Just so y'all know, full disclosure, both Steph SABRAW and myself, we're not big into horror, so I'm like, all right, here we go.
When there's dead in the title, it doesn't look like we're gonna do well.
No, right. It might be a comical, because it says mini dead, so I don't know.
Kind of has a Beetlejuice vibe.
At a cemetery? I would do that. Oh, that's disrespectful.
Uh-oh. Oh. Oh, they're in Hollywood.
Jesus. Sudden death. Did you see the caption?
Not the monks.
Hello, zombies. Not in our country.
Not in our country.
What? It evolved? Oh, man.
Oh, no.
What are we gonna do?
Oh, that was insane.
The whole thing amounted to a space fart.
Also, don't have sex in a cemetery and disrespect their tombstones.
All of this came from two people messing around. That's insane. Oftentimes it does feel that way, like just a couple people messing around, and that's how like a famine hits or some kind of plague hits humanity or something.
Fire starts.
A fire starts. Yeah, it's like a fire. It's like a forest fire. It just catches and like goes everywhere and spreads quickly. What was fascinating about that was the perspective. There is this special lens. I forgot what it's called, but there's a special lens you can get that gives that sort of perspective of a miniature. And for a split second, I wondered if they employed that. Like they actually shot this live action. I wish I could remember the name of it, but it gives the, like if they were shooting Los Angeles, for instance, and you see the cars going by and people walking, it does look like miniatures moving just because of the way, the curvature of the lens and all that stuff. It has a weird effect, and they deliberately employed that here. It's just odd having that sort of aloof angle at everything because you don't have a fear of heights, right?
No.
You ever gone to like a tall building and then look down with like binoculars or something? It's just people living their lives and they have no idea you can see them. It's like the most bizarre thing. It almost looks like they're inside of Sim City.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That perspective is crazy. And then how small they look. But then when you're down there, it feels like everything is your size. But when you're from above, yeah. You don't think it was shot in miniature, like claymation kind of?
I think it was claymation.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was. I don't know for sure. I mean, I don't think actually, I think it was all done in the computer, like CGI. Obviously with the team. It was a neat concept because it sort of trivializes everything. It trivializes just the eventual extinction of humanity.
Yeah.
To be this just space fart. And then it makes you wonder about the things that go on inside your body. On a microscopic level, what is going on? You
nothing.
Know? You know?
I love the description. It says, it's the cutest apocalypse you'll ever see.
That's true.
It was cute.
Nothing like that. I wanted more of that kung fu action though.
Me too. I saw the monk attire. I was like, let's go.
Yeah.
They lasted longer than most, but not long.
Right. You can hear all the action of vocals and whatnot. Again, I'm forced to ask, okay, what is this expressing about humanity? You know, because it feels like all of Love, Death, and Robots is sort of talking about. It's a commentary on humanity in some capacity.
Maybe that a lot of us go about our life choices with absolutely no consideration of consequences.
That's that, you know, for sure. That means that happened at the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, we just like are like fun, including myself. I'm like, let's have fun, everything we do. And then you don't think, you're like, oh, there's a ripple effect sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. Great. That's lovely.
This is some bullshit, Sergeant.
Shut the f up, Macy. Volan, you're gonna get shot in the dick if you stay in a silhouette like that.
Right in the dick.
I'm just trying to see how far out I can get it. Got
Why in the lens?
1711. We're within 500 meters of the objective. How copy? Over.
Getting no radio contact with anyone for the last 50 f***ing minutes.
Fine, like our idiotic platoon leader decided to.
Fine, like Team 2's been torn into greasy shreds of man jerky.
Oh.
Look at this thing here. Almost as big as my dick.
Well, I guess he won't be needing this. It's the whole team.
We're gonna get through this, soldier. Together.
What? It's a honey badger. Honey badgers don't give a shit.
Time to kill each other. Oh, thank God. I'm so tired of carrying all this fucking ammo around.
You assholes don't have my permission to die.
Oh.
Should we shoot it?
Yes, Coots, let's shoot it. Fire! Fire!
What kind of bear is that?
You, honey badger!
Oh, shh.
Jesus.
Go, son of a bitch! Holy shit! Die!
You guys, this isn't working.
Uh-oh.
Hey, over here.
Who the hell's this guy?
Sergeant First Class Morris, attached to Task Force Griffin, stationed at Camp Eisenhower. It's right over that ridge.
No such place as Camp Eisenhower.
Sure there is.
You're stationed at Camp Bullshit, and you drink from a camelback full of lies.
CAA built it back in '02, right after the invasion. Another part of our hearts and minds.
Fucking nightmares, like that thing.
Well, that thing is codenamed Project Barguest. It was on patrol with us last night when it started acting unpatriotic and treated my team like a Afghani buffet.
Oh.
That's a stupid fucking name for a honey badger.
It's not a honey badger. It's a genetically engineered grizzly bear. Come on, guys, let's go to that base you don't think exists.
Sergeant, we got permission to die now?
Getting there, Folan. Getting there.
Up, here it is.
Oh, no.
Guessing it wasn't like this when you left.
No, f***ing wasn't.
Well, personally, I love what they've done with the place.
Whoa, friendly.
More science shit. You gonna go rogue and try to eat us too? Here we
go, guys. Come on. All right, ladies. Call the bar guest to us. Clench up.
Let's just get this shit over with.
3, 2, 1.
You sure that recall button's right?
Oh, what?
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's all you got?
No.
Let's get the back, you idiot! Macy, move!
Oh my gosh.
It's gonna be okay, Folan.
Nah.
Just
Niels,
You gotta wrap that. Oh my god. Okay, whatever.
tell my wife.
I will, Folan. Anything.
Listen, please,
Promise.
please.
That doesn't have to kill him if you just wrap it.
I f***ed her sister.
Oh god. What a maniac.
That sure was some bullshit, Sergeant.
Uh-oh, it's a bomb. You know, this feels a little bit like going to a film festival.
Like you're watching a ton. Some are great.
Yeah.
Some are like, okay.
Yeah. I kind of felt like from the beginning, when they was showing the piss coming at the camera, I'm like, that's about how I feel right now, and I think that's what I'm going to feel for the whole thing. I actually get so much more satisfaction out of the ones that are trying to tell me something, as opposed to just a cacophony of noise and explosions and stuff like that. Maybe it's as you get older, you just change, I guess. I don't know. Did you get anything out of that?
I feel like I had to channel my like, let's chug a rock star, bro. Let's go. As soon as I feel like a lot of these army type episodes or military, they're expanding on like the bro culture.
Yeah.
That is, there's like a lot of like, thank you for your service, but a lot of bros in there. But
I like the wolf one, the werewolf one.
yeah.
I thought that was cool.
Oh yeah, me too. But I'm saying like inside, like they were dope, but there was obviously some people in it that is there just like by following orders, and they don't really have like a conscience or a morality that they're tapping into necessarily. But yeah, that one just felt like a fun gore, gross. You had what you had coming kind of for creating such stupid creatures, and there's probably so many things that the military and army are working on in terms of scientific advancements for war like that are crazy.
It just didn't feel like it belonged.
Yeah, with everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of felt like a Adult Swim episode.
Just random. It was just sort of like, what? This doesn't fit with anything else that we've been watching at all. I'm sure that there's a lot of people in the audience who are like, oh yeah, yeah, I want more of that one. I don't know why we have to have this heady bullshit, all this cerebral bullshit.
Yeah.
I just want more of that. But maybe it's there to ironically be a palate cleanser, so that it just kind of recenters you for the next time they're hitting you with some cerebral shit. It's basically wasabi.
I like the animation style.
The animation style was cool. Yeah, I can agree with that. I concur with that.
And in their like weapons room, it said "little friend." I like that little Scarface reference.
Oh, that's true. Oh yeah. That's true. See, the thing is, like, Scarface had meaning. It's like while it had violence, it had values that you could extract from it. There's literally nothing I could. That was literally candy. I mean, maybe you're onto something with it, like being connected to the sort of military bro culture, because that's not something I've like years ago. I need to watch it again. I bought it on 4K Blu-ray just so I could watch it again. 300 when it first came out.
Oh, I love 300.
I couldn't get into it because it felt like that's what 300 felt like to me. It was just that, just like this cacophony of noise and just like I'm like, all right, but what's the story here? The story didn't resonate with me deeply enough. Like, if the story's really good, then the violence I can deal with. but like that felt like it was putting violence first story way third or fourth. And here I was just like, is there even a story?
Yeah.
Really? The leveling up that episode did, it's like I felt like I could see all those beats coming. Like when they went down into the subterranean level, I was like, okay, did you expect anything any different there? Like, other than more grossness to follow? And like, okay, when they're all trained with the bazookas, ready to shoot the bear coming from the front, and they're just waiting silently, I'm like, okay, someone's gonna say something, and as soon as he talks, then the bear's gonna burst through.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it felt predictable. Whereas the other ones, they had this like edge to them that I didn't know where it was going, and where it took me was exciting. So. Another Blur Studios animation, I presume. Oh, what? That's an interesting spaceship.
Yeah.
Kind of gives me the Fountain vibes.
Dr. Acriel.
Dr. Mary.
What?
It's good to see another human face. And please, call me Galena. Don't be alarmed. It will convey your pheromones to the Queen. I believe they were once a spacefaring race who discovered the swarm and were absorbed by it. So far, I've identified 15 unique symbiotic aliens living among the hundreds of specialized castes native to the swarm.
Oh god, well, something suspect.
Since our basic biochemistry is similar, it's perfectly edible.
I saw that desert episode. You're enjoying this way too much. You gotta be careful.
To solicit food with a pattern of reflex tapping. Fermentation in the worker's gut adds nutritional value. Makes it taste better, too.
Oh, God.
It's wonderful.
A tunneler. It can take us further into the nest.
Oh, yeah. God, the crustacean creature is like...
Yeah.
Oh. I would be so uncomfortable.
The Queen.
Oh, gosh.
It is truly amazing. Warrior cast. Very deadly. But only if you mean harm to the Queen and her eggs.
This is some StarCraft shit, yo.
We only need the genetic information from one egg. With that, we can grow our own queen.
You are planning to breed a slave race.
You said yourself, they aren't sentient. They're organic machines.
We'll need to test the synthesized pheromones with a series of trials. The pheromones need to be combined in a chemical program. Gather, then dig. Retrieve one fertilized egg.
Whoa. Did they like mess up their system?
Oh no.
I have no name, but you may address me as Swarm. Triggered certain genetic protocols, and I was born. I'm only a few weeks old, but I have millions of years of racial memory.
You are clearly an intelligent being. Surely we can find a way.
One the Swarm has used to deal with threats like yours.
If you intend to destroy us,
Most likely you will destroy yourselves. Intelligence is not a winning survival trait. 2 million years ago, its ancestors made the galaxy tremble when they attacked the Swarm. The two of you make a perfect breeding pair.
I would never betray my race. I'll kill myself.
Do you accept my offer, Doctor?
We won't become parasites. Humans are different.
Of course you are. I'm glad I won't have to absorb you. I would have missed your conversation.
What was the takeaway with that one? Definitely StarCraft vibes. I guess you don't know StarCraft very well. So Kerrigan was a human, and she was taken by the Zerg, which is a swarm race like that, and she was integrated into the swarm race and became the queen. That looked actually interesting enough that I kind of wish that we got like more stories, more chapters out of it. It felt like it was trying to do a lot. You know, like the Michael B. Jordan one was very a self-contained thing.
Yeah.
This wanted to do an entire Star Wars saga inside of 18 minutes is what it felt like. So it was trying to give you all of where this was maybe headed. It got a little bit too ambitious for its own good, I think. It looked cool. And I thought some of the ideas presented were interesting. And it shows you just like how man is Icarus. And, you know, it will always, even in the face of like obviousness of like, let's just like chill out, will always try to find a way to take something and make it their own and integrate it somehow, even if you should just leave it alone.
Yeah.
You know?
And the idea of what defines a good intention or not,
Yeah.
and how we define if we have good intentions, we're not going to exploit them, that we think it's okay without regarding what they possibly could think. And then what you were saying, like the complete arrogance in terms of thinking that they won't see the plan, as opposed to just being upfront. Because maybe if their plan had integrity in it and they talked to them about it, it'd be different. But instead they were like, nah. And then also this need for intelligence and science. You see like mad scientists, you know, they want intelligence and they think that's good because it's knowledge, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily good.
Mm-hmm. Wait, what?
This search for knowledge and doing whatever we may need to do, like all the experiments that we've seen in the past, present, and future, in order to gain more answers.
Yeah.
A lot of those answers are gained by really unprincipled ways.
Gotcha.
And even though you're doing it for good, the greater good, it's not good.
Gotcha. I was waiting for the other shoe to drop the entire time.
Sad the woman died.
Well, she's not entirely dead. She's just in a very, very uncomfortable place. That was nasty what happened to her. I thought they were like doing a lot of interesting ideas here. It dropped us in the middle of somewhere in the future where we have made contact with an alien species. And I thought that was actually interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It sets you up right from the get-go. The desire of this particular person and he represents humanity and maybe the worst of humanity in a way, or the ambitions of humanity, blind ambition. Because like the alien race was like, I don't understand why you even want this knowledge. And it's just like, he's basically just trying to collect everything he can, like a Pokemon master. He encounters the female scientist and she is very resistant to what he desires because she's like, we can just leave this alone. And had he listened, they'd both be okay. But he decided to carry on with his ambitions. He justified it to her somehow and she gave in. It was almost like a reverse Adam and Eve situation. Mm-hmm. Creepy. Like I don't, he just like, they really lived amongst them and he learned the tongue and everything. I'm like, they look yucky. I just, I don't know. Even when I was playing StarCraft, I'm just like, you control the creatures and whatnot, and they're all grody. And after getting through an entire campaign as Zerg, I'm just like, I don't ever want to be this creature again if I don't have to be.
Yeah.
They're just grody. They're always portrayed with some sort of efficiency because of the hive mind sort of thing. That's one thing that's talked about in StarCraft is like with all these creatures is the hive mind idea. Like that's part of why they're so advanced and smart is because they have that collective consciousness and they sort of think together. I didn't understand the offspring thing that they were talking about. That confused me, that dialogue. I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. Like if she had bred something.
Yeah.
Or
so, yeah. Like because they were able to see into their scam, she was able to create something that like counteracted that.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
Like her body was able to like generate that.
That Mother Lord thing looked like a big brain. There's two things that bother me in terms of this particular short film more than anything was just at the end it felt like they were trying to do way too much. And number two, having sex in space is profoundly more complicated than that.
Yeah, it kind of had an Avatar sex feel. You know, when they're like in the forest connecting tails.
Well, the thing is, mating, reproducing, really depends on a degree of friction and resistance. And in that environment, there was no resistance. Like, they were literally in the middle of it, just this space.
It's the resistance of love, Jabby.
If the little tentacle things were like holding them together, then that would have been one thing, but that wasn't happening. Like, even if he had her on a rock and tried to thrust, he would have been thrusting himself away from her. That's the problem with that kind of environment. You literally need to tie yourselves together. I've watched videos on this just out of curiosity, because like there was rumors about, I forgot which astronauts there were, but there was like a male and female astronaut, like a married couple that went up into space together. I forgot their names, but there was always questions about whether or not they had sex in space. Pretty sure they did. I can't imagine how complicated that would have been. I suppose in a NASA space shuttle, it's like a little bit easier because
more contained.
It's more contained. There's like, you can hold on to something. That environment was just precarious and full of rocks and stuff like that. I'm like, he wasn't holding on to anything. So that's why I took such issue with that. Because like they were going out of their way to like have realistic elements to a certain degree. I'm overthinking the shit out of this. Like I always do.
Kind of had like this water vibe though, without water. So I wonder how it actually worked. You know what I mean? Like if there was more friction because there was more weight in the air or whatever.
It did look like water, but I think that's just because it was space. There was somehow oxygen in the air.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't really understand that, but I just went with it. I'm like, that's kind of cool. If we had, like we were talking about like luxury resorts in space before, if we had that, it would be like that. You know, your ability to move around, you'd be floating instead of walking because there's no artificial gravity. There are ideas to simulate it, but right now we don't have that technology. You'd be floating around through whatever. They didn't show them exercising at all. When you're in space, the human body needs exercise. They were up there for presumably a really long time and they lost no muscle mass. I'm like, I'm just gonna not even pay attention to that part. You're like, there's no treadmills, there's no resistance bands, nothing. Like, how are they able to sustain their bone density and everything when there's no artificial gravity of any kind? The first thing that astronauts experience every time they come back to Earth is like just like gravity. They're like, whoa, and there's like bone density loss and everything, and that's why they started. Oh, and this is the first explorers of space, right? That's why they started implementing all these exercise routines in space to maintain their muscle mass and structure and all that stuff. But it's a fucking sci-fi thing, and I'm overthinking all of this. So I just thought there was like really cool, like fine details that they included. And I was like, oh, just go a little bit further though. Like it's just a little bit further. Yeah. So like, okay, they want to have a sex scene, fine. Find a way to communicate with that gelatin octopus thing that they were in between, like Avatar. Keep them together. Because that's the only way you're making love in space. You know, it's not sexy. So
that's how whales have to reproduce. They have to have a third.
Are you serious?
Yes, I looked it up because I was like, one day, I was like, how do whales have sex in the water? Like, this doesn't make sense. Yeah, there has to be a third that keeps the one attached.
Yeah.
But it's only like 60 seconds.
I feel like the human race should operate the same way, but you know, whatever. You guys, thanks so much for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed some of that. Do subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell icon, please, all notifications, and vote this up. I'm Jabby Kuwait. This is
STEPH SABRAW.
Peace out.